BREADMAN and I mean on your station.
My life is so beautiful. You know, say yeah, it's all about BREADMAN.
And I say this is the original Chronic Saint. You're tuned into the original BREADMAN. Keep it locked. Rastafari said that. Ease out.
Yeah, you don't know this is a girl Bad Girl Cecile representing for BREADMAN.
All who genuine BREADMAN, reroute them. And all who are touch, we mute them. Them no smoke, them no sick, them no have pink eye, but them yeah in red. Yeah man, BREADMAN. We're better than everything. All Steadman.
Good riddance.
Okay. So
I said I was very rude and I was very hurtful.
Yeah. Yeah. But that, even though, so what Libras have to work on, because I'm working on that, is where I am not making, I'm trying not to hold everything. So if something is wrong, I'm trying to address it when it comes, right? Because when we keep ignoring it, that's when we blow up. Like I go blank and spaz out.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be that person. Neither should you want to be
I
that
don't
person.
want to be that
right?
person. I
so,
don't.
Because
they
we're,
push
I know,
you
but
to
then
it.
we're putting out that energy, and then that energy trickles to other things, you know, in our lives. So we can't. So it's not even it's being selfish with yourself, because if we don't do that, right? If we have some sort of control and just be more mindful about how we want to live our lives and what we're saying, right? In terms of addressing things when they happen instead of keeping it in, because it makes us sick anyway. So addressing things when it happens, being more mindful, right?
Yeah.
Because we only want to attract good. We don't want to say nothing where I can attract negative stuff.
I
you know
don't
what I'm
either,
saying?
but that's why I try to stay quiet.
Energy.
When I realize that this is the energy that's flowing, and that, all right, you know what? Let me just pause for a second, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I know we kind of started in a little different type of format, but this is my friend Jewel Corinne, and she's going to be here. We're going to have a discussion today about different type of energy stealers and ways to identify energy stealers, and basically the methods that energy stealers / energy vampires, some people might know them as energy vampires, different methods that they use to actually take your energy. We're going to get a little bit more in depth with these different things. I believe there's like four different methods that we're really going to zone in on right now. And I do want to make a reference. There's a book that I read called The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield, and it does cover a section, there's a chapter in the book, it does cover a section where they call it life dramas. And these life dramas are things that we develop where we actually take energy from other individuals. Now, let's be clear, not everyone that takes energy or receives energy or are considered energy vampires or what we call energy stealers, because there's certain times where there's going to be mutual exchange of energy between individuals, and there's certain times where an individual might need energy and you're going to just donate that energy without looking for anything in return. But what we're talking about when we say energy stealers and energy vampires, we're talking about those individuals that actually are chronic energy stealers. They continuously just look for different individuals to just take their energy from. And those are the individuals that we really want you to identify. So, Jewel, we're going to have a little discussion. We kind of started the discussion where we were talking about energy. It's still within the same realm of the discussion. So,
yes.
So let's just get back to the discussion. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what were you saying? Now, you were saying as far as Libras that we need to really zone in on how to correct that.
Basically, we have to work on ourselves, right? We need to basically, if something is going on, we need to address it right then and there, correct? So, because if we don't, we're going to keep building and building this negative energy within us, and then we're going to blow up. And that's not good energy, because we're going to start attracting that negative energy and trickle into other areas of our lives. So the good thing is to address stuff when it's happening, right?
Yeah.
Don't be scared to say how you're feeling, because you don't want to hurt the other person's feelings, right?
Now, what you're saying to me, I think that's one of my biggest problems in life. I think from I'm young, I always tend to do that. It's like, if someone would slight me, I wouldn't react exactly then. I'd probably just be a little bit more observant and watch the person. And sometimes I would let it go too far. I would let this person continuously do this to me until I finally blow up.
Right.
And then I don't even know if that's the point when this individual actually knows that they've slighted me, or if they know that they've been doing it all the time because maybe it's my fault for holding in. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For holding in, they might not know that they're slighting me. So really, what you're saying is right. You really have to try and address these things right when they happen.
Right. And it's not reacting; it's responding, right? Because reacting is it has a negative monotone, so it's really responding. When you're responding, you're thinking about what you're saying to the person, and when you're addressing the situation. So reacting is kind of negative because we're just reacting without thought. So we're responding with thought into what we're saying.
Calculated response.
Yes,
That's what you're saying.
exactly. Yeah.
Definitely. And so what do you think about like individuals when you do respond to them and they don't take it in a positive way? They feel slighted.
Right.
So there's some individuals that you interact with when you tell them, you try to address that you're feeling slighted by the way they're.
And it's okay that they feel slighted. That's not your responsibility to really care about how they feel, right? Well, you care, but you're being correct in what you're saying. You're protecting your energy. So they're going to feel slighted, but that's for them to work out. They have their own issues that they have to work on. So we're going to come across people that have, different type of energy, different type of vibration levels, but that's for them to work out. That's not your responsibility. You're being true to yourself and protecting your energy by saying what you feel at that moment, in that moment. Yeah.
So, guys, one of the first methods that we're gonna really zone in. Let's get into the discussion about these energy stealers. And one of the ways that the most familiar method that energy stealers use is one thing that you might hear people call the victim role, or some people might call it the poor me role, where you find an individual that they're just always coming to you with like a sob story about something bad going in their life, and they need your help, or they need something from you to help them in their situation. Like I said, we're talking about these people that are chronic users of these methods. Because definitely there's going to be individuals in your life that's going to be in a situation where they do need that energy from you. It's not really a chronic poor me, but somebody may have lost a loved one, and you need to donate some of the energy to them.
Right, but you're freely giving your energy.
You're freely giving it. These stealers, they come to you with these sob stories because they just want you.
Right.
It's like the guy you see on the street that he's begging money that I'm homeless and whatever, and then you see him the next day and he got a lot of money in his pocket, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? Man just robbed you.
Yeah.
And he used that poor me method because most of these people that chronic poor me users, chronic victims, they don't care that they're victimizing you.
Correct.
They do not care.
Yes, exactly. They don't.
All they care about is the end result, is that you give them something. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be attention or even monetary.
Right, exactly.
So
yeah.
These individuals,
and they're not looking for advice either. They just want to pour in. We call it trash, right? They want to dump all their trash on you, tell you what's going on in their lives, right? And then you're absorbing all of that energy, which isn't good. Yes, I've experienced energy stealers, but what I try to do.
What, I don't know if you combat the victims?
Yes.
Okay.
What I try to do now when I encounter people that are energy stealers, the poor me type of personality, I just try to reinforce a positive type of response to them or outlook on the situation.
For example, what do you mean? I'm a regular person that comes to you and I'm always giving you a sob story. Like, oh, some car broke down. Jewel, you could loan me $100 so I can rent a car until I get back my car or whatever. You know those type of sob stories. It's either like monetary or it's just like, oh, my car broke down. Can I borrow your car so I can go up the road or whatever like that? And sometimes these people borrow your car and come like something's wrong with you.
Well, they're not going to borrow my car because I'm a firm believer if you're not on my insurance, you cannot drive my car. But what I will say to them, thank God you have a car to be repaired. There's some people that don't have cars that have to take the bus, that have to walk, right? So that's not for me, I'm not gonna really be
But
sensitive
Jewel,
to
but
that.
that man, one of them know me for walk. You really gonna let me walk? I have a car? If you're not gonna let me car, drop me up the road.
I can drop you up the road, but I can't lend you my car, you know?
I'm gonna go to work tomorrow morning.
No, I can't do that. You're gonna have to find an alternate situation in terms of a bus route, Uber, taxi,
You know how much
something
money
like
that
that.
is, though?
We'll get your car fixed.
I'm working on that, though. Jewel, come on, you gotta have a heart.
I do
You don't
have
have
a
a heart?
heart, but I love me. I love you, but I love me more, and I'm sorry, I cannot do that, okay?
She's good. She's good. I have to try that method because really my method with poor me's is kind of a little bit more, like, listen, I'm gonna just give them the truth. I'm like, listen, you keep telling me each time I see you, and I kind of just give them the rough truth.
Right.
And I don't know if that's the right method or whatever, but sometimes maybe it's the same thing like we just said about the leader. Like I let this pile up until when I do spill out, I spill out. It's not like in a pretty way.
But the thing is
So
that
yeah.
we let it spill out, right? Yes, and it's not in a pretty way. You're not spewing out how you feel in that moment. But the thing is, right, the purpose of us all being here is to have the best life possible, right?
True.
And if you're constantly letting this person pull your energy, because even if you're doing it for them, you don't really want to do it, right? So that's a negative situation going on. So you need to have the best life possible. So you need to be what's the word? You need to be forthcoming and honest in how you feel in that moment, and just tell them no. They're gonna be fine. They may be upset in that moment, but guess what? Next week they'll be fine. They'll call you, see how you're doing. They will be fine, and that's the issue. We think that it's gonna be a continuous problem, or they're gonna be upset with us forever. No, that's their issue. They will get through it. Not saying that you can't help them from time to time, but they can't suck you dry.
To be honest with you, the way I look at it is like just like you said, they're gonna be fine. Unfortunately, there's some people that's not fine with it, and the way I look at it is like those ones that are not fine with it, I didn't need you in my circle.
Right.
So I don't. That's why I kind of like would rather. I'm not being hurtful the way I say it, but I'm just gonna cut and dry with it. I'm gonna be like, listen, your situation right now with your car, that's that way. What you're talking about right now, you're not looking for a solution. You need to fix the situation, because the solution is not for me to bring you to work every morning. That's not a solution.
Right.
I could help you and bring you to work today, but you need to figure out something, because that's not going to be an everyday thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people might take offense to an answer like that. I
And
don't
it's
really
okay.
care.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not being. It's not that I'm so harsh with it when I say I don't care, but I can't care for that, because
Right.
you need to be a grown person right now and take care of your responsibilities, just like all of us
Right.
do in life.
Yes.
And that's the thing. These poor me people really look at it as their responsibility is them and everybody they know.
Right.
I'm in this. They look at it. They're in a situation. You're my friend, so we're in this situation.
Right. So you have to give me the money. You need to give me the
Yeah.
$100, right?
And I don't
Yeah.
understand that mentality, so that's why I have to nip it in the bud, like right from the beginning.
Right.
Right. And like I said before, I used to let it pile up and then I spill. But now when I nip it in the bud from the beginning, I'm kind of just stern with it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to tell you, this is the situation, and you need to get this fixed.
Yeah. But guess what that's doing when you're nipping it in the bud, right? So if the person goes, right, you said they'll be angry with you or whatever, that's okay, because you only want people that are of like mind around you, right?
Yeah.
So then you begin to lose all these types of people, the energy suckers, and then you get to then you're surrounded with people that are only like mind, positive type of energy, right? Responsible people. So it's okay. It hurts. It may hurt when the person leaves, but you're just cleaning up your life. That's what you're doing. Your surroundings, you know.
So that's basically the poor me and the victim. Let's move right along to like another life drama, like as far as we see in the Celestian prophecy. And the next one is on the same side of the spectrum, because it's like a spectrum. There's some aggressive methods and there's a little bit more subtle methods. And this one they call the aloof. Now, the definition of aloof is like that person that just seems like uninterested in what's really going on. That person that's in the back of the room that not really speaking. They just like to themselves. They could care less about what everybody else is interacting. We're having a party. That's like we're having a party. You have this person in the corner, not speaking to anybody. They're just there by themselves. So the aloof now, this is funny because they actually do draw energy, but I don't really encounter in my life, I don't really encounter people with that method stealing energy from me. That method of stealing energy usually attracts individuals that are very like self-centered and have like narcissistic characteristics.
Okay.
Yeah, narcissistic characteristics in their personality. So basically those people that are used to having a lot of attention, I'm beautiful, people always notice me, and they come into a room where they're supposed to be the light of that room, and then there's this one individual in the back that's not paying them any mind. That bothers that person.
Right.
You
So
know
they're
what I'm
gravitating to that person. That person is
and that person's
their
just
energy.
pulling their energy from
Right,
them.
yeah.
And I don't usually get counted because I'm not a narcissistic person. If I'm in a room, I don't need to be the center of attention in the room.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm actually looking to see what I can learn from people in the room.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm always searching for knowledge and really interacting positively with different individuals so that we can get some positive flow of energy back and
Right.
forth. So the aloof, we're not really going to spend that much time. I'm not sure if you've ever encountered somebody that was aloof.
Well, I know people. Yeah, I mean, I know people that were affected by people that had that type of personality. They couldn't understand. For instance, I know someone that is in the fashion industry, and their boss had to select someone to go to Fashion Week or whatever, and they couldn't understand why their boss didn't choose them. Right? They kept questioning the situation because they have a narcissistic personality. They are saying, why me? Why, like, you're supposed to pick me. It's me.
Yeah.
Why aren't you picking me? And they had a huge issue with it. And those are people with insecurity issues. So they really have to look into themselves and ask, or look into themselves at why they are, like, they need attention from people that are not paying them any mind.
Well, you know something? I'm gonna put my little 2 cents into, because as a man, I do feel like, I don't know if I speak for myself, I don't know how other men are, but if I see a woman that I've never interacted with before and I notice like she's very like, she wants to be the center of attention and she's like, I'm not too attracted to that for some reason. But the quiet type, there's something about a quiet woman that is very reserved that I think I'd be more attracted to that reserved lady than the lady that's just.
So the energy that
So she would draw my energy actually when I leave it. But I wouldn't even feel like it's being stolen because that's something that would be attractive to a man. To me as a man. To me.
So when we say I guess, okay, so they can be quiet, but they might have a certain type of energy. So when you say aloof, are you also talking about people that may be quiet but seem miserable? Be putting up a miserable type of energy, or no?
It could be both. Yeah, it could be that way too.
Because I've encountered people like that, right? Where they're miserable. They have this miserable energy. Yes.
In a negative aspect. I guess aloof can have like a positive way into it and a negative and those miserable people. Go ahead.
I've encountered that as well. Well, I've encountered that, right? Where a person, they're like cussing up not real, but they're not quiet, but let me give another example because that person was a verbal type of, but where they just have a screw face and you're like, what's the matter with that person? So that person took me in because I felt that type of energy where I'm like, I didn't enjoy myself, and this was kind of like a family party situation, so I didn't really have a good time because I started kind of forcing, trying to make it,
wondering what's wrong with this person and how can I help?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, right, they didn't say anything to me, but their energy wasn't right. They were quiet, but I was drawn, or
that's
people
more of
were drawn.
That's more of a stolen because that person is, even though they're not really saying anything, they're kind of drawing something similar to the poor me, the victim, without verbalizing.
Right. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that is definitely a stealing way.
Yes. Yeah.
And if a person is chronically like that, that they just always that miserable, quiet person that
Right.
everybody but you okay?
Mm-hmm.
You alright?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then it's definitely good.
Yeah.
You're
But
definitely
even if you don't say you okay, you're alright, they do change the tone of the room. So how do you protect yourself from that? You know, that's
See, that's very interesting because that's a very good question because really protecting yourself from that is just to remove yourself from the situation.
okay.
That's the only way I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not being in that room, ignoring the person. You're not really gonna ignore the person, and with the person still in front of you, miserable.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
You know
So just
what I'm saying?
remove yourself.
You're
Okay.
you're just telling yourself you're ignoring them, but you're still gonna be giving that energy. You're still gonna be wanting. You're still gonna be looking every time you see their face. This person that's swell up, say over there, say
Right. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
So then it's just like, and sometimes, like we said that with the victim, we spoke before, and I was saying sometimes you just need to distance yourself from people. And when somebody's like that, especially with that miserable frequency,
Right.
I tend to, if I see individuals that just spewing like this from the first video, the video that we did right before this, if I see somebody that's just in that negative tone of energy, I tend to distance myself from them.
Okay.
Because one thing is, the energy that people are dispersing can be contagious if you're not careful.
Right. Yes.
If you're
yes,
not careful,
yes, yes.
that can transfer to you.
Right.
So for you to be around a person that's always poor me, I don't know if you've ever encountered, you're around a person that's like, yo, my salsa, the car broke down, yo, my roof a leak, look, my boss, and cuss me out, and everything, my man is about to leave me. I'm telling you, you have a girlfriend that's just everything bad, always going wrong.
Yes.
If you hang around her too much, you're gonna start noticing things bad going on in your life
I've had
too.
that situation as well. So I just want to give you, I don't want to talk too much about it, but give you an example. I had a friend that was going through a tumultuous relationship, and this is like personal to me, so, but I'm willing to,
We don't have to use names.
Yeah.
Just give
Tumultuous
names.
relationship, and every day I would be on the phone with her, listening and absorbing, trying to help, trying to give her solutions, not realizing that I was absorbing this energy, right? And I in turn attracted a situation like that myself, right? So you have to be careful of what you let into your vortex, your energy
Your
field,
space,
right?
yeah.
Your space. So you gotta limit it, right? You gotta limit it or turn it around, right? Turn it in a positive aspect where they stop speaking about it. Or if you can't do that, then you gotta exit the situation, right? But yeah. So I'm in a mental space now where I'm trying to only attract people that are like-minded, as I said, and just be positive all around, right? Positive, joyous, happy. So that's
Yes.
all I want around me. And the people that aren't like that, I know that they will just go away at some point, but I'm not accepting that into my life anymore because I know the type of life that I want to have. So I'm protecting my energy. I'm not taking in things that I don't want in my life, right?
You hear that, people? Good advice right there. Good advice. This is definitely something that I practice, and I'm glad to hear that you say you practice, and more of us need to practice that. You just need to be very aware of the type of energies, the individuals that are always around you, because there's certain people that are acquaintances.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Certain people that you just high and by. And then there's certain people that are part of your circle. And the individuals that I let into my circle, they have to be like-minded. They have to be a flow of positivity. Like I said, everybody's gonna go through your different times in your life where you're gonna have some kind of tumultuous experiences and stuff like that. But a person that's able to bounce back from that, and I'm able to help you bounce back from that, and you want to bounce back from that. Not a person that wants to dwell in this negativity, but wants to dwell in the sorrow and stuff like that. And even there's certain, I've encountered people where I'm even trying to give them that light at the end of the tunnel, saying, listen, things are not all that bad. It looks bad right now, but it's going to be better. And they're like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. And they just want to be in that negative state of mind.
Right, so when we realize that that's where they want to be, we definitely have to leave them alone because they're not I mean, we can try to reinforce positive stuff or try to, you know, give them advice. Maybe later on they will receive it at some point. It could be 10 years later.
You know, the old Jamaican say, you can't lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Right, exactly.
And some of these people that you encounter like that, you're not gonna make them drink. Even though you can show them the water, they're gonna drink when they feel like drinking. And sometimes you gotta give them that space for them to decide when they want to drink. But I want to drink from the well of positivity, so I'm gonna be over here drinking while you're over there.
Me too.
While you're over there. So moving along, we're going down to the last two. Now the last two on the other spectrum, where they're more aggressive with the energy stealing. And the one individual that we're going to talk about first is called the intimidator. Now the intimidator, you should be familiar with. These are like the bully mentality people. There's even, of course, you know the word bully. These are kids. Kids even use these against other kids. And that's that person where he's going to try and basically, as we say, intimidate you into doing what he wants.
Right.
Or he or she wants.
Yes.
Maybe they have they're physically bigger than you or physically stronger than you, so they believe that sometimes they use their voice. They're these people that they just want to yell at you. And they believe that intimidates you into doing what they want to do. You see even certain people in professions that do that. I believe there's a lot of police reform going on right now, but for years the police department instilled that into their police officers, where it was a way of intimidate the community.
Right.
And thank God now the black community is starting to really stand up and say, no, you need to respect us, not intimidate us. And that is a way of stealing people's energy. Because think about it, those years, you're a female, but as a man growing up in black neighborhoods, when I was a teenager and I encountered police officers, that's all I saw, that intimidator. And they basically stole the energy out of these kids.
Exactly.
Because kids were terrified when you see a police officer.
Right.
There's kids that I see, there's black young men that I see out there that not doing anything wrong. And police officer would pull up on them, jump up on the sidewalk and jump out with their guns or whatever.
Right.
And this young man would start running. He has nothing on him, and there's no reason for him to run. But in his mind, he's running because he fears this individual.
Right, they don't know what's going to happen.
And that was definitely something that we definitely need to change. We need to really continue this whole thing about defunding the police. I don't want to switch off of it, but defunding the police is not a solution. We need to reform the police, and that's what we need to do. We need some retraining. We need police to really learn how to interact with the community without intimidating the community, and you start to respect the community. On that note, we get back to the intimidator.
I just want to add one thing with the police reform. We need more people that look like us to be in our neighborhoods that are police officers, right?
True.
That we can vibe with or interact with, and they understand us, we understand them.
True. More importantly, it's not even us as adults. I believe that we need more people with us, that look like us, for our kids to see.
Right. Yeah.
Because that mentality, what I'm explaining to you, I do remember as a young man, most of the police officers I seen in my neighborhood were white men that don't live in my neighborhood.
Right.
The only time I seen them, that's why a lot of kids, you could tell an undercover police officer, because why is this white man walking around in my neighborhood? So it's nothing I don't see any similarities. These individuals that are trying to intimidate you. So there's no way for the community and these kids to even look up to these individuals.
Right.
So when you do see police officers that look like you, and I believe one more step, I think it'll be a good thing for the police officer to actually live in a neighborhood.
That's unlawful. Yes.
It's going to take some time because it's been going the other direction for so long, but you start implementing those practices where police officers live in the neighborhood and these kids know, oh, Officer Jones lives on the end of the block.
Exactly, yes.
Oh, what you want us to do? I'm not going to do that. Suppose Officer Jones see us going, and kids are going to act differently. Right. And when they see Officer Jones might play basketball with them on the end of the block. And they respect that individual and they act differently. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to be an individual when Officer Jones pulls up in his uniform in his car and he pulls up on the block and gets out of the car. You're not going to run down the block. You're probably going to walk towards the car. And that's what we need to get towards. And that's what I truly believe, that these little changes like what you said, and police officers that come from the community, that our young men and women are able to see them while they're growing up and have a certain respect for that individual, whether in uniform or out of uniform.
Right. Yeah.
And you'll have a different generation of young men.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
But like I said, I think that would be a whole other discussion. Guys, comment down below if you think that's a discussion that me and Joel Corinne should really talk about, the police reform situation in the United States right now. I'll definitely like to take that up. And if you're down with it, well, if
I'm
the
down.
people tell that we
I'm
gotta
down.
do it, then we have to do it.
If you want it, I'm down. If
All
you
right.
want it, I'm down. Yes.
So back to the intimidator. Have you ever encountered an intimidator, whether in your adult life or even as a child?
I would say intimidating in a different aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Is this intimidating, right? I really want to be there for my friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really tired though. I'm not able to come and be there for my friend. They ignore me for 3 months. Is that an intimidating factor?
No. Intimidator is more like,
because you know not to do that again.
No, but I'm gonna go. Intimidator is a straight bully.
Okay.
Like a woman in an abusive relationship, she's encountered an intimidator that's draining her energy. And that's why a lot of women in these abusive relationships don't even know how to get out of the relationship, because it's just like a succubus on them, and that's just sucking them. Mm-hmm. And they even believe that even if they leave this person, they're not going to be in a better situation.
Right.
And
so I guess I've had that situation. I was in a, as a young adult in a relationship where the person was an intimidator in that aspect, right? To where I didn't really experience young adulthood because there's certain things that I wouldn't be able to do because I knew that there would be an issue with that person, right? I didn't get to go away to Cancun like everyone else was doing in college because I knew that that person did not want me to go.
Do that,
right? And if I did, I think I went on one trip with girlfriends and
there's repercussions.
There was huge repercussions, excuse me.
Yeah.
So that is an intimidating and abusive type of situation where, that's sucking your energy until I think I did 10 years in that situation, and then one day I was just like, I can't do it anymore. And I got the strength to leave. It was hard, right?
Was there someone in your corner that helped you, or it was just like your decision and you finally, because 10 years is a long time. To have somebody on you with that type of energy for 10 years, it takes a very strong individual to break out of that.
There wasn't someone in you had your family, but it was really me, and it was hard because I had stalking issues. One time I was going out with a girlfriend and they just appeared outside, you know what I'm saying, in front of my girlfriend's home. So it did take some time where I had to get an order of protection and just take precautions in order to get this person out of my life.
Yeah, usually these intimidators, when you do make that move and try to separate yourself from them, they don't want to let you go because they're used to that energy. This is constant energy, because trust me, this person, he's energized each time he puts you down.
Yes.
I don't know who he is, but that's how they operate.
Right.
They're energized when they put that other individual down. And it's like, you could feel it. It's like that.
He said I was nothing without him, right?
They'll tell you. This is what they'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they'll tell you, because they're so dependent. Really, they're nothing without you.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're so dependent on that energy that they've been continuously getting from you right now. When they lose that, that's when they become the stalker and all that. You think Shella left me? Oh, Shella left me.
Yeah. They actually snapped because people asked me, what did I do to the person? I didn't do anything. You cut his supply off. Yeah. That's what you did to him. Yeah. You cut his supply off, and now he doesn't know how to act. Right.
He doesn't realize, and some of them don't even realize that they were living on that supply until it got cut off.
Yeah.
So that's why they'll tell you, you're nothing without me. You're nothing, because they think that they're good without you. Like that. But once you're gone, they'll realize that lifeline has been cut from them. Right. And they're gonna go crazy. Yeah. The intimidator. Now you've been bringing up like ways to combat the intimidator. A lot of these ways is really distancing these individuals. And
all right, ways to combat. I feel like because when we are affected by people that are energy suckers, right? There's some work that we also have to do within ourselves, right? So for me, I feel like starting my spiritual journey, which I did since COVID happened, a lot of people have gone to spirituality, right? And understanding myself and what is going on around me. That's how I began to understand that this person is taking my energy, or this person is doing it in that aspect. So first, working on yourself in order to strengthen yourself, to understand yourself and what you need to do, right? And do that first, and then when you begin to understand the things that you need to do for yourself, then you start implementing it into your relationships, right? Because the most important thing is to protect your energy. If your energy is not, sorry to be talking about energy and vibrations and stuff like that, but if your energy is not protected, then you're gonna constantly be, these people are gonna constantly be able to draw and weaken you, right? You have to make sure you're filled up, your energy is protected.
See,
right?
that's the point for you to protect your energy, because like you just shared with us that you were in a relationship where you had this intimidator type person attached to you. Now it's different, like to combat somebody like that, they're already engaged. It's like this vampire has his teeth in your neck already, and you need to get him off. Then it's a situation where you're aware of these people, like what we're trying to get you guys listening right now to be aware of these individuals, that you notice an intimidator right off the bat, and you combat that from the initial start. That he never gets the fangs into you. Right.
So the first part, when they get the fangs into you, how I feel that I got strong enough to get that energy out of my life is that I started doing yoga. This is years ago. So this happened years ago. So I started doing yoga. So that's a spiritual practice that started strengthening me. Yes, I strayed away from it, but I got back to it. But during that time when I did leave the situation, I was doing some sort of spiritual practice where I was strengthening Jewel. You know what I'm saying? So that strengthened me, and I knew that that wasn't what I wanted anymore. So I was able to leave. Had I not gone to some sort of spiritual situation, I might have still been in the situation.
So the growth you got from your yoga was able to give you the strength to...
I just wanted peace. You know.
So now that you are able, because it seems like you are able to identify these type of individuals now. Have you ever encountered somebody like that where you had to do that initial like protect your neck?
Well,
shout out to Wu-Tang. Protect your neck.
Well, when you have family members, right? You can't really like always distance yourself from them. So I have practiced. I have come up with some things to protect my energy or protect my neck, as you're saying, right? I went to Georgia the other day, and I made sure I put myself in an environment where I was protected, right? I did my meditation, I did my prayers in the morning, and I also set myself up. For me, I have to fill myself up with energy in the morning to set the tone of the day. So I distanced myself at a certain extent. I had my own rent-a-car. I didn't have to ask anybody to do this for me. So I protected my energy field, right? I did the things I needed to do. And the things I needed to do was make sure I had my own space, make sure I did my filling up in the morning, right? Prayer, meditation, affirmations, to make sure I set the tone for the day so that I wouldn't attract that into my
Now, as far as attracting an intimidator, we're going into a lot of these old Jamaican sayings, but there's the next Jamaican saying where they said "duppy no for fright."
Yes, duppy no for fright. Yes.
And I believe that these individuals, that's one of the main ways to combat them. If you have that whole aura, that whole presence from the initial that you're not a weak individual, that they can intimidate.
Yeah.
They're not even gonna attempt it. They're gonna realize that, okay, this is not a person that I can get any energy from, because they're already on a level where they're willing to stand up to me. And it's just like, I've never been to jail. It's just like the stories you hear of people in jail that
they know who to pick on. They sense the soft person.
So it's usually a person that's very reclusive, very, very timid.
Again, we have to work on ourselves and basically
that's who attracts these type of individuals.
Yes, that is.
They see the timid, quiet girl, and he might be nice at the beginning, and all of a sudden he turns into this abusive individual, and she doesn't even realize why she got into that situation. But in a more aggressive woman, that's not even aggressive, but a woman that's more confident, knows what she wants in life, and asserts herself very efficiently. A person like that intimidated might encounter them, and he or she's going to have to work their way differently, and they're never going to really be able to show that intimidating factor part of them, because they might even try it, but they realize once they get shut down, like, excuse me, what did you say?
How about sorry for interrupting you.
No,
yes, there's people like that, but how about where you're working on yourself so well, right? To where you're protecting your energy, where you don't even have to be assertive in that matter. They're just gonna bounce off of you and pass you by. That's where I'm at. I wanna be in a place where I'm working on myself spiritually, where that person is not even, I don't even have to be assertive and say anything.
That's the thing, you don't even realize that. I believe that what you're talking about is the same thing, because when you are in that mindset, when you're working on yourself, you walk with a sense of confidence that people don't realize.
Yes, that's
so
true,
you're gonna set off that same aura I'm talking about. That you're not a person to be reckoned with. You're not a person to.
Gotcha. We're talking about the same thing.
Yeah. So it's really the way you present yourself. The way you present, that's the best defense against these intimidators.
Right. Yeah.
All right. And the last life drama that we're going to talk about is on the same spectrum, not as aggressive as the intimidator, but these individuals, we call them the interrogators. Now, the interrogators, they come in many different forms. Some of these people, sometimes, like I gave you, we was talking the other day, you might have different aspirations in your life, and my mother used to always tell me this, because I guess I was just too open as a child. She was like, you shouldn't tell everybody what you're doing.
But we didn't understand.
Yeah, I didn't understand what she meant by that. Don't tell everybody, because not everybody's in your corner. And a lot of these interrogators, they might see you doing something that they might want to do, but they shut you down, and they try to cut your energy by making you question if what you're doing is the right thing. And they will always come with these questions with you, like, oh, like if you're in a field, a different field, and your career, Jewel, you sure said that you want to nursing? You want to deal with people?
I've had that, yes.
Yes. And there's you were probably excited about this career choice before this interrogator came in and started bombarding you with all these questions about whether this is the right choice for you in life, or what about other people, and all of a sudden you start thinking in different things. Once you get drawn into them, they start stealing your energy by that way, because by the end of these conversations, this is the one thing about all of these people, by the end of a conversation or end of interactions with them, you feel drained. They somehow steal the energy, and you can feel it at the end of these interactions. And sometimes you associate them with that stolen energy, that the minute you see them, you feel drained.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
It's true. When I was venturing into the world of entertainment, putting on reggae shows, I had a lot of that. I have changed course, but not because of them. But they were like, "What are you doing? That's not you. Are you sure you want to do that?" So yeah, a lot of, and I had to. It was hard, but I was working on myself, so I blocked it out, and I stopped telling them what was going on. They would just see the results, right? So we have to be very careful of what we tell people. When we have any aspirations in life, keep it to ourselves, or confide in a mentor, someone that's like-minded, that can,
But like I said, when you're working on yourself and you're working on your circle, and you do have that correct circle around you, those people you can actually confide in them.
Correct.
And that's when the growth and the blessings are coming, because you've built that true team around you. That's why it's more important to assess these people and see which of the people you need to keep on the outside of the circle. You don't need to cut everybody off in life, but there's certain people that need to be standing on the outside of your circle, and there's certain people you have in that circle.
Yes.
Interrogators are not good people in your circle. Interrogators are usually thinking about themselves, and they
want to do what you want to do,
and they don't want to see you doing what you're doing.
Yes. Yeah.
So these interrogators,
because you need to stay where I am. That's why.
No, where I go up this so far?
Yeah.
No, and me still done. I said, no, come back down. No. Really? You want to better your life? Why do you want to better your life? I'm telling you, this is very serious. Remember that movie, Jason's Lyric?
Yes.
How the brother,
yeah.
how the brother was acting. Or was it, what's his name? Bokeem Woodbine. How he was acting with his brother when he's telling him, "I'm gonna leave with my girl," and he's like, "No, she's trying to take you from me."
Yes.
He's just looking like, why do you want to go have a relationship with this girl? Even though he knows deep down this is something that's good for my brother. But he's going to be the interrogator and start asking all these questions. Don't you see she's trying to control you? Huh?
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
go
told you.
ahead.
So I didn't date much people, but I did date someone where our relationship was really great, but his brother was single at the time, going out partying, laughing at him because he was hanging out with me on the weekends, right? To where he started, like, I guess, being upset about, you know, the great relationship he had, and he started doing the stuff that his brother was doing, right?
Yeah.
But guess what? His brother met someone, got married, settled down, and then him and I ended up parting because he didn't realize that his brother was jealous of his situation, or didn't want him doing that, right? He wanted him to do what he was doing because he wasn't ready to be that man.
Because the brother's looking at right now.
Yes,
I need you with me.
Yes, exactly.
But now, right now, I have my woman.
Yes.
So I don't need you no more.
Right.
You can go do what you need to do. You can do whatever you want to do now.
And left him out to dry. Yeah.
So the interrogator comes in many different forms. Some interrogators, there's another form of interrogator, not many different forms, but there's another form of interrogator where it's just like a constant, like, bombardment of questions. Let me try to give you an example. Okay. There's a different type of interrogator that kind of steals your energy, where it's like they try to set you up into situations where it's like, I told you so situations. It's like, we could be putting together this desk or putting together this couch. They're not going to help you put together the couch. They're going to say, "You sure I said that?" That's it, no? You sure that's where it goes? And they may even know the right way and see you doing it wrong. You sure that would have? And then when it goes wrong, it's like, I knew that's not where it was supposed to go. I knew it. And for some reason, those type of interactions, you don't realize that that's stealing your energy too. Because at the end of those interactions with people that just
because they're scrutinizing what you're doing and not trying to
constantly
put in a
push you,
hand,
and that's where the interrogator comes in.
So that's drawing, that's bringing you down, taking your
So
energy.
to me, that's the worst form of the interrogator, because those are the malicious stealers, where they can actually help in the situation, but they're rather
intentionally,
interrogate you,
and
make you feel little,
knowingly doing that,
and make you feel small when you make a mistake. Because that's sort of
knowingly. They might still be doing that unconsciously. No?
But they are looking for that gratification. Where they get their energy from is when you make the mistake and they say, I told you so. I told you shouldn't have done that.
Versus the poor me is not really doing it. I get that. Okay.
So I think that's the most. Have you ever encountered individuals that do that?
I've never, unfortunately. Well, I'm happy. I've never encountered that situation. I've encountered the other ones, but that's one that's new for me. I've never encountered that type of energy stealer.
I've worked with someone that was like that. That was just like, and I believe it was probably like a race issue, because they just believed that they weren't going to help me, and they believed that what I was attempting to do, I didn't have the knowledge to do it, and they were just waiting for me to trip up so they could be like, I told you you couldn't do it.
Right. Okay.
But that individual like me, that motivates me. When I realize an individual
wants you to slip up,
wants me to fail, that's when I'm gonna succeed. I'm gonna succeed, and you're gonna watch me succeed.
Well, that's for you, but there's a lot of people that fail. So for those people that are not able to be driven by the person being like that.
That's the thing. That's just me. That's like you say, because I am driven. I need to stop touching the mic. I am driven by when someone tells me I can't do something.
Right.
That's what gives me the boost that I say, I am going to do this, and you're going to see. But for individuals that are not that strong, I shouldn't say strong, because you're not weak when you don't do it, but don't have that characteristic in their personality. The best way to combat those type of individuals is, see, I can't even say that, because one of my methods of combating an interrogator is to give him a little bit of his own medicine.
Okay.
And when I say give him his own medicine, we're putting together a couch and all this stuff, and then you sure said that's where it goes? So I said, I'll look at you and goes, do you know somewhere where else it's supposed to go?
Okay.
And I'm gonna hit you with a question, and you
Right.
answer me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you might try to deviate just because you don't want to give me the information.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, so why you keep talking then if you don't know where it goes?
Right. If you don't want to help me.
Yeah, you don't know where it goes, and you're not helping me, but you ask me if I'm sure that's where it goes.
Okay.
What is the questions for? And then
And
all of
then
a sudden they're gonna be able to defend because they realize I'm interrogating them now.
Right. So you turn it back at them. You turn it
Not
back
everybody's
at them.
able to do that, but I've been able to do that very efficiently.
Okay. All right.
And I also think that's probably a me thing too. I'm not sure. You said you never really encountered an interrogator like that before, but that is the best way because they back down immediately once they get that same interrogating thing that they're trying to do to people. What they tend to always back down.
Okay. But I'm just gonna ask you a question. But when you do that, I feel like they may be getting they're winning in essence because they're getting that energy from you that they were giving to you. You know?
No, actually, they're not getting any energy from you right there. I don't feel like getting energy because I feel like they achieve their energy steal when they've questioned me and I start to second guess what I'm doing.
Okay, all right. Okay.
But
you're not second guessing.
I'm not second guessing.
You know what you're doing. It's just that you're.
And even if I don't know what I do, I know that if I make a mistake, I can learn from my mistake. But you bombard me with these questions is not helping the situation. I'm going to let you know that. I'm going to ask you, why are you doing that?
Right.
What is your intentions?
Okay.
So even if you don't know that you're trying to interrogate me, I'm going to let you realize that I do know that you're interrogating me and that it's not working right now.
Okay. All right.
So that kind of cuts them, and actually they feel depleted right then. I kind of stole some energy from them.
Okay. All right.
Not telling you to steal that energy.
I don't know.
Telling you to steal that energy.
But that's what works for you. So.
And that just because I'm not going to chronically steal from them. Like basically, that's a cutoff. Like say, yo, Virgin, where you at?
So you're nulling. You're nulling the energy, that negative energy that's coming towards you. You're kind of pushing it back and saying.
And then I can go, and then I can get back into my positive mode without your cynical views and your constant bombardment of these damn questions. Okay. So those are the four the four life dramas that we really wanted to cover. We really got pretty long. Wow, hour 23 minutes. So it's an hour long video. So guys, thank you for joining us. This is me and Jewel Corinne. Do remember, check out our Instagram at Jewel Corinne. Tell them a little bit about yourself. What's the name of your organization? Yeah, are you part of any organization?
Yes. So I have an organization, a company called Conscious Mindset Shift, and it's basically trying to shift the consciousness of the world, right? I feel like a lot of us are in pain and are just not living the life that we were meant to have. So I have a company that basically is shifting your mindset, mind, body, and spirit. We have a book club going on. We have where we're doing physical activities going on, yoga. I'm a certified yoga instructor. Okay. And then also what we put into our bodies. I recently became a vegan, so it's all veganism. You can go to my website, consciousmindsetShift.com, and then you can hear and see all about it. And click and join a class one day, virtually.
I'm going to have to take you up on that. I know, guys, I got some bad news. Even though I am Leon the BREADMAN stopped eating bread for about 2 months now. So I'm trying to get a little bit on the health situation. I had to delete certain things like bread. I didn't love bread enough, but...
Listen. It's a good thing, right? Because what we put into our bodies, that's what reflects outwardly too.
I'm telling you, I feel good. I've lost some weight. I definitely feel more energy. I definitely feel more energy. I'm not as tired as I used to be, and I guess it's just like you say, what you put in your body. Once I started changing, eating a lot more fruits, drinking a lot more water, not with the juices, definitely no soda. And I definitely feel like a new me. Well, I'm gonna continue. I'm at the beginning of my journey. Maybe you could help me with like some
Yes,
info.
I will. We're gonna have Leon do some yoga.
You guys want to see that?
then-
Well, you guys gotta comment down below
Maybe we'll
about that.
prepare a meal together too. Do you guys want to see that?
That'll be good. That'll be good. So just comment below. Tell what you would like to see. If there's any videos that you'd like us to really tackle. Like you said, we could tackle something with the yoga. We could tackle something with the diet.
Yes.
And even just like what we just did right now with knowledge about self and knowledge about different energies and how to interact with human beings in this world, so that we can really move forward on the positive spectrum of this whole globe that we're here spinning on right now. So guys, thank you for spending time with us on Leon the Breadman channel. This is the type of knowledge that we really want to spread. This is the type of content that I'm going to continue hitting you with. And hit me with a subscribe if you can. If you like the video, hit me with a like. And don't forget, hit that notification bell so the next time we drop a video, you'll be able to know exactly when we drop the video, and you'll be able to be one of the first ones to actually view the video. So until next time, we'll see you.
BREADMAN, make myself your life, is not a dead man.